Good morning. Welcome to Wake Up Real Estate Friday morning.
I didn't wake up early.
12th.
I didn't wake up early enough, so we have to start at 11.
Yeah, sorry. We're an hour late today. Just had a conflict, and we both wanted to be on. We both wanted to be on here today. So the title for today's session, if you saw the email or the YouTube event, Facebook event, etc., is "Does your lead conversion suck?"
Yes,
quote unquote. And so I'll unpack that. The answer is probably not, or maybe, I don't know. We'll talk about it. And I also will share my my weekly email newsletter template. I teased what I was going to send earlier in the week, and because I got incredibly busy, I pivoted, and I'm going to send what I teased earlier in the week next Friday, and I'll unpack all of that when we get to it. But Ryan, I think you have a social post for everybody.
Yeah, we're gonna hang out on LinkedIn today. I guess all business is about solving problems, right? And if you take your marketing to where the problems are, you can do well. So a lot of people are in Airbnbs that they might have gotten a mortgage on in the 8s, 7s. When things were at their peak, they might have thought it was a good idea to get an Airbnb, jumped on the mania, don't know anything about how to manage a property. The short-term rental market dries up from time to time. That's kind of a thing right now where it's not as easy as people thought it would be. So the social post is, if you're upside down with your recently acquired Airbnb and struggling to make it profitable, here are a few options for you. Josh just ties into the DSCR stuff you've been talking about. So
which is scrolling across the bottom if you are watching this on video.
Yeah. So if you did, if you can help somebody refinance into a lower rate and put a year-round tenant in, that could fix the Airbnb problem. Plus, a lot of people probably realize I had one for a while, Josh. It's not that much fun. You got to go clean the thing. You make a little extra money, but it's work. Running an Airbnb. Or if you want a fast cash offer to simply sell the property, there are some interesting options for that right now. And I just went with I went low tech. I just said text the keyword to my cell number for more details about either option. Right there with an image that was made on Canva, just a sad guy with an upside down house.
Beautiful. So scrolling across the bottom, joshvips.com/DSCR. That's a form if you or your client has an investment property. It could be a short-term rental, long-term rental. It could be multi-unit. It could be commercial, anything and everything. It's a form that you can fill out. We get the information, and then we go and shop for the best options for you or your client. We have been getting, in a good way, bombarded with interest on these DSCR loans, especially in the last 7 days. I've been talking with multiple folks a day on these through social channels, just people picking up the phone and calling me. So there's a ton of interest, and we did an info session, Jordan and I, on Tuesday. If you want to proactively generate some business and put it in the pipeline, go find deals that would fit or that would pencil, quote unquote, DSCR in your local market and present it to the market. Instead of waiting for the client.
Low down payment, no income investment opportunities. You can use that kind of language, right?
Yep. And instead of waiting for the market to come to you, right? I think most often, many people wait for clients to come to them. Proactively create the deal and bring it to possible clients, right? Like reverse engineer the whole thing.
Josh, can I just take a 2-minute detour, a little bonus
tech
tip Thursday?
A little bonus tech tip Thursday on a Friday?
Well, the Airbnb thing got me thinking this morning too. If you are working with the DSCR loans, you're servicing investors, if you're feeling your business
Ryan froze, or I froze. I don't know. One or the other. Ryan, hello. Well, I think it's Ryan, but it might be me. Hopefully we'll get him back.
I don't know what that was. Can you hear me?
Okay, you're back now. I don't know where you froze, but start over on this door loop. Door loop.
So basically, when I came into the business in 1999, the brokerage I was at focused on real estate brokerage, property management. Sorry.
Right.
And then when things turned again, the markets turned back. He was in a good spot to do a lot of brokerage because all those people he was managing properties for, became clients on the residential resale side. So, thinking about this Airbnb stuff, for those of you who are thinking about it, property management could be a viable option. Somebody put this in front of me not too long ago. This Door Loop looks like a really cool platform.
It's happening again. Apparently, the I don't know, the live stream platform doesn't like this software. I'm just kidding, Door Loop. I'm not picking on you. Check it out. Check out Door Loop. Hopefully, we'll get Ryan back at full strength here in a minute. My topic for today is well, it's Follow Up Friday, right? And so the question that I posed in the title was does your lead generation quote unquote suck? Ryan, I think you're back now. Your eyes are moving. Yeah, whatever. Who knows? I don't know if it's raining there. Or you got storms with whatever. Who knows?
I got kids playing video games.
Oh, there you go. They're sucking up all the bandwidth. Here's why this topic came to mind for me. This idea of asking the question, does your lead conversion quote unquote suck? And I know that's aggressive, but whatever. Sometimes you got to get people's attention, right? Shake the trees a little bit. I know Ryan had a conversation with a client recently. I've had a couple of conversations with client recently who not even necessarily frustrated, but just like maybe a little concerned or wondering what else they can do to improve the conversion rate of the leads that they're generating, whether they're self-generating them or they're paying for leads or whatever, getting that number up. Okay. And so first and foremost, if you're thinking that way, number one, you may have an issue with expectations. What do I mean? If you are cold lead generating on Facebook or Instagram, even Google pay-per-click, it is going to be a significantly lower conversion ratio than if it's a referral or if it's someone that reaches out because they found you on your Google business listing, or if you're like Daphne and you're just knocking it out of the park with your YouTube content and you're getting people to reach out to you because of that content, the conversion rate for those two things could not be more different. We're talking about 10x difference in conversion ratio. To put it in real numbers, my guess is for Daphne, somewhere between 1 in 5 to maybe at worst 1 in 10 of people that reach out to her from her content will turn into a client. The numbers on Google Business for real estate and mortgage it's anywhere from 15 to 20% of leads turn into clients on those platforms. But on cold platforms, it's 1 to 2 to 3 to 5% if you're really good. Now that percentage can increase over time. The more those leads become seasoned. But the reality is, like in the short term, 6, 9, 12 months, if you're getting 1 out of 100, it ROIs. Unless you're paying, an insane amount per lead. If you get 2 out of 100, it's all day, right? So you may have a problem with expectations, okay? If your lead conversion, quote unquote, sucks, or if you're wondering if it sucks. Number one. Number two, you may have a problem with your automation. You're generating leads. What happens when the lead, are you automatically feeding them into your CRM or your all-in-one platform, whether it's KV Core or it's Lofty or it's Boomtown or it's Sierra Interactive, or you're using a combination of an IDX and a Lion Desk or whatever it is your tech stack is there automation happening? Are you delivering the thing that you're promising automatically? Are you following up with conversation starting texts and emails? What does that look like? Okay, so it could be that that's something that you need to explore. And by the way, just an aside, anytime you create a new campaign, you should be the test dummy on it. Make sure that you opt in, or have your wife or your whoever opt in and see the experience from the consumer side. Don't assume that because you built this out or because you think it looks like this or that or it's doing this or that Don't assume any of that. Always, always make sure it's working the way it's supposed to. Don't just assume, because I can't tell you, Ryan, I mean, you and I
Well,
over the years,
every
we've
campaign I
had,
build is just broken. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, not just you and I though, but folks
everybody.
we've been helping for years are like, I've generated 100 leads, but nothing's happening. Yeah, because the 100 leads don't go anywhere. They opt in for a thing and nothing happens, right?
Yeah, especially when you pay for a lead vendor. If people pay us from time to time to like run Google ads, we wire everything up, and then we'll hear 3 months later like, where are the leads? Well, you paid us 3 months. You paid 3 months for a thing.
Right.
Make sure the leads are coming in and they're being followed up on properly.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the next thing to check, right? Is what is the automated tech stack that you've got working on your behalf? So that if you're out showing homes, or if you're with your family, or if it's 3 a.m. in the morning and somebody requests the thing that you're offering, whatever it is, does that happen? Does it work? Are you making good on micro commitments? Because here's what the consumer thinks. If they see something and they share their contact information thinking that they're going to get this thing, whether it's a free list of waterfront properties or a free list of new construction properties or information about a special financing program, if they share their information and you don't give it to them, they immediately assume bait and switch, just like everybody else. And some of them, the real one, the real nasty ones, they'll start leaving nasty comments. They might even leave you a bad review, etc. So you got to make sure that you make good on what you're promising if you're spending time and or money to put marketing out into the digital sphere. And you should be, but just make sure that's working. So that's number 2. Number 3, what are you doing retargeting? If you're spending money or you're spending time to build audience buckets, people opting in, people watching videos, people engaging with your page, what else are they seeing from you on Facebook, Instagram, maybe YouTube, maybe Google display ads? That it all stacks up, because then you start to create a sense of omnipresence. It minimizes them or ensures them against going and looking for another solution or another service provider. Okay.
Yeah, it's like defense in a way. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't guarantee that they won't shop or interview more than one professional, but it helps. It helps. And then lastly, I'll tie this into Follow Up Friday in my weekly email newsletter. What are you doing manually, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, to follow up with those folks? Because if you just rely on automation, if you just rely on retargeting, it'll get you only so far. It'll help. But when you then also layer on strategically, manually following up, both one-to-one and one-to-many, doing both of those things, all of those things in congruence are how you win at the lead gen and conversion game. And honestly, if you want to survive in this business, now Ryan and I have been saying this same thing for years, but it is the reality. And I would say it's becoming even more the reality. If you're only relying on your sphere of influence and past clients, the number of years that people are staying in their homes is increasing, not decreasing. Meaning you have to have a larger database than you had to have even 5 years ago just to stay on the same number of transactions or to keep your income the same. So if you don't have strategies, and Ryan, perfect timing, put scrolling on the bottom, wakeup.realestate/Renos, RENOS. That's a video with Ryan. Go ahead, Ryan. What is Renos?
Yeah, it kind of consolidates everything you just said and gives a bunch of different components in both the lead generation and the conversion side of things that you might use as inspiration or build a system around.
Yeah. And so you've got to do more, and you've got to do better. You've got to do more and you've got to do better. Simple things, but the easiest, we could have, the conversations that Ryan and I have had in the last couple of weeks with folks, we could have just simply said, you need to do more and you need to be better. Like, now we can tell specifically what to do more and better of, right? But there's always, I don't think I've ever talked to someone about this topic who at the end of the conversation didn't realize, yeah, I could be doing more and I could be doing it better. Okay. It's just, that's the reality of it. And myself included. Like, you know, every time I get someone who replies to a text or email and says, hey, thanks, you can take me off your list. We just closed on our house last week. That's exactly what it reminds me. I need to do more and I need to be better. I need to do more and I need to be better. So I'm going to pivot slightly, but not really, to give you an example of how you can do more and maybe get better, which is my weekly email newsletter. Now, earlier in the week, Ryan, are you seeing my screen or yours?
Yours, hopefully. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So earlier in the week, I mentioned that I was going to, my weekly email newsletter was going to be around real estate investing. It was a very busy week on the financing front and a number of other things. And so I did not get to build the content that I'm going to share for that. So I'm going to do that next week. What I did instead is I created a short video. I recorded it this morning going over some interesting statistics about home sales here in Central PA over the last 3 years. It is, I recorded it. It's a screen share video of it's just me talking. It's not even a talking head video. It's me talking with a screenshot on the screen about the statistics. Okay. And we'll put that, you can go and find it on my Josh Schoenly eXp Realty Facebook page if you want. But we'll also share this elsewhere. And I am this afternoon documenting what I had tried to document on our Wednesday mastermind, but just wasn't able to because of a tech issue. I was trying to share my phone screen and it just didn't want to cooperate. Either way, I'm going to share the how-tos of that, but it's less than 60 seconds. And for those of you that are like, I don't want to be, I don't want to be on the video. I don't want my face on the video. Folks get to hear my voice. I put a little silly picture of me here so they can see me. And it's got the statistics that I'm talking about on the screen there. And that the statistics are just, I got it from my local association. They publish them once a month. And what made me think to do this is they update those every 10th or 11th of the month. So I was like, I'll just throw this together quick. I haven't done a market update email in a while. And this was very short and sweet. So it's a screenshot at the top that takes them to I posted it as a Facebook reel, takes them to the reel on my Facebook page. Okay. There's just a little bit of copy. There's a hyperlink to it. And the PS, very clever. If you hear anyone talking about buying, selling, or refinancing, please let us know. Okay. If you can't tell, I was trying to knock this out this morning between making all of my kids breakfast, running them all over the place, etc., and making sure that I keep my commitment to myself and to my database of sending and to all of you, sending an email every morning at 8:30. I think it went out at 8:32, so I missed it by a couple of minutes. But that's an example of doing more. Could this have been better? Could I have taken a little bit more time and made it a little better? Maybe, but at least they're getting something from me. This is a great point here. There are so many moving pieces. Sometimes it's overwhelming where to start, but I'm learning it's very important to have integrations with my CRM, which is KV Core, as it prevents duplicate work. Yeah, having a great tech solution is important, but there are many great answers, or many good answers, right? And all of you have probably heard this plenty, but the best solution is the one that you'll use or that you actually use. So start there. And then for those of you that may also feel a level of overwhelm, tackle one thing at a time. Overwhelm I think most often comes from trying to do too many projects all at once. Do one thing at a time. If you're not sending a weekly email newsletter, commit to that. And if it takes you 1 week or 1 month to get your system or your process in place to do that, do that. Like, nail that. And then if or when you're ready, then you can tackle the next domino. But trying to do too many things at once is a surefire way to create overwhelm and to ensure that you don't make any progress. In many cases, you'll end up going the wrong way. Where can we see the email newsletter template? If you go to wakeup.realestate, we've got a whole section with templates and scripts, etc. And we'll get that one in there as well. I don't know if I can. I wonder if here. I think I can add it as a comment maybe as well. Let me see if I can add it as a comment as well. This specific one. Also, I haven't mentioned this in a while, but the platform that I am using to send my weekly email newsletter is GetResponse, and we have a little offer, Mike and I, that if you want to replicate what we're doing, if you sign up with our GetResponse affiliate link, which yes, I will get a little change if you do that, but if you do, we'll set it up for you. We will we'll help you clean your list, because you do have to clean the list to get it in there, and we'll even help you build out your first template or templates to start sending your weekly email newsletter, if that's something that you're interested in. And you can email mike@growwithjosh.com for that, or actually Mike's on a little mini vacation, so actually just reach out to me and I'll get you the link and more information for those that might be interested. Doggone it, it doesn't want to give me the online version of it. I don't know if this will. I'll try and post this in the chat or in the comments. I don't know if it'll bring it up for you or not, but how much is that? Is it better than Constant Contact? I don't know if it's better. Constant Contact's great. There's lots of great solutions out there. Constant Contact's great. My brother and my dad, who run an auction company, they use that for theirs, right? So it's great. The pricing, just like any of these, will vary depending on how many contacts. They have a free trial. On the free trial, I think you can I think you can have a free account up to 500 contacts. And then the pricing varies, depending after that point. If I have Lofty, should I use a separate email system? The answer is, I don't know. Ryan, what are your...
Depends how big you are, right? We talked about this, Josh.
Yeah.
Do you have 10,000 people you're emailing a couple times a week? Then you start to think about it. If it's just a couple hundred, it's not a big deal. It comes down to like the features and the analytics that you want, somewhat deliverability.
And what Ryan said, that's exactly why I switched. So for years, literally almost 3 years, I sent mine through KV Core. My database is, like that email this morning went out to 7,500. Okay. In KV Core, I don't have the analytics. And because it's an all-in-one solution, it's wonderful, but it's an all-in-one solution. It's not designed to send out an email broadcast of 7,500. It'll do it, but it's not the best solution. So I switched because I wanted to improve deliverability. I wanted more and better analytics. I wanted to be able to see what are my open rates, who's clicking, etc.
It's a good way to have a backup of your database too.
Yeah.
Kind of doubles that way. So KV Core goes down. You never know. It's a third party. So the redundancy is nice.
Yep. Also, how important is it to make sure opt-in versus just dumping my 4,000 database? So if you were to switch, I actually had a great conversation with Andrew Robinson, who I know is on here as well. He was asking for a friend. He called me earlier this week. He had a friend that is moving his database, and he was asking. He remembered that I had talked about cleaning the database and asked what I used. I used NeverBounce, neverbounce.com. If you go to app.neverbounce.com, that's what I used to clean it up. And I would recommend any of you, if you're moving it over or you're taking it, you want to export it, and then you want to send your weekly email newsletter somewhere else, I would clean it. It's not very expensive. You pay one time. You don't have to buy a subscription or anything. You just buy credits. And in particular, if you're going to use, let's say, GetResponse or probably Constant Contact and others, you're only going to be able to import the valids, the ones that come back as valid. And so that's best practice either way. I would say that you
some of them are doing cleaning for you. I thought GetResponse was one, but maybe not. Some of those systems are including that now, or as you sign up, they make you do it.
Yeah. So yeah. GetResponse, I don't believe is, because very transparently, the way I figured out with GetResponse that you had to do just the valids, when you clean it with Never Bounce, there are 4 or 5 buckets that they put them in. It's like valid, unknown, something, and then like 2 that are bad, invalid, and there's another one that's bad. Well, I tried to take the valid and the unknown, thinking it's unknown, that's a little bit, and it wouldn't accept that. It would only accept my export that was just the valids. And I would assume similar services are going to be the same way. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to eliminate those folks from elsewhere if they're in those other platforms. I mean, you could, but I don't know that it's necessary to do that if they're already in there. I feel like Lofty is sensitive to people unsubscribing. Does GetResponse do that? I don't know I don't know what you mean by sensitive to that. I mean, any of them, if the spam complaint rate and the unsubscribe rate is way outside of the norms, it's going to create a red flag scenario on any platform, right? Regardless. So I don't know exactly what you mean by that, but yeah, any of them, and just so you understand, almost all of these platforms, they have to protect the entire user base. So if they have an abusive user, as they view as abusive, they have to take action to protect the rest of the user base. Whether it's a real estate specific solution or a non-real estate specific solution, they have to protect everyone, which is why, as frustrating as it may be, some of that stuff happens where you get flagged, etc. And we have somebody, Greg Unthank, he got a flag, which I think he got removed by GetResponse, but his complaint rate or his spam rate was just slightly high, and he wasn't doing anything out of the ordinary or aggressive or and anything that necessarily would cause that, other than sometimes it happens. Like you just never know. So, all right, got into the weeds a little bit there at the end, but hopefully that helps. To reiterate, if you're generating leads and you're wondering, how am I stacking up? Number one, check your expectation level, okay? Because a lot of times it's just a matter of resetting your expectations. If you generate leads for 3 months and you've gotten 1 client, unless you've generated like an exorbitant amount of leads, I consider that a win, because it's hard. The nice thing about real estate is it would be hard for you to spend that much money that 1 client is going to bring in for you in 3 months, if you're doing it on your own. Okay. Number one, expectations. Number 2, make sure that your tech stack and your automation is working as you think it is, right? Are you making good on micro commitments on whatever you're offering to them? Number 3, do you have retargeting in place on some level? Okay. Some way to keep up with them. And, Andrew actually said, send them snail mail. That's actually that's offline retargeting. It's offline retargeting. Not a bad idea. If you missed Ryan's session yesterday, he talked about geofarming, but he also talked a little bit about that concept as well, and also how you can do a typical geofarming, where he took Ernest's letter that is been working tremendously for him, which Ernest talked about on Wednesday. But some other ideas as well, our transaction list, the bribing for for an appointment, right? A gift card bribe. Anyway, retargeting on some level. And then what are you doing manually?
Yep. Can I add one more thing? And it plays into what you did on the mastermind. If you're not doing, I mean, I hate to say it, but if you're not doing 2, 3, 4 videos a week and getting them out there on socials and via email, you're leaving a lot of money on
behind.
You're leaving a lot. Well, you're just leaving money on the table with respect to conversion, because that's the attraction marketing game is the same as it was 10 years ago when we met, Josh. It's just people will come to you if you're putting the content out there, but if you're not doing it, your conversion rate's 1/10 what ours is.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. The guy I talked to the other day, I hope he's watching. I mean, I wanted to tell him that, but I know people are. It's easier said than done. But put the work in and start doing it, and you'll be happy.
Also, just random and funny. I mean, he's local in my market. Literally 2 hours later, I see him at the Sam's. Anyway, I don't know. I wish I could attribute who the names of this is, but the Mid Carolina Real Estate, that episode was gold. I'm trying to design my windowless letter template now. If you need help, reach out to the team.
Yeah, the team over there, it's full service, man. Just go in the chat and Arper or Shane will like make you something cool.
Yep. All right, so next week, we'll have our normal show schedule. We'll do our mortgage related info session Tuesday afternoon, our mastermind session Wednesday afternoon. If you need anything between now and Monday, or if you have any clients that we can get to work on shopping for some financing options for them, we'd be happy to chat. Just reach out. You can use the chat widget at wakeup.realestate. You can find myself or Ryan on socials. If you need help with anything, we're here to help any way we can. Oh, it's Frank Murphy. Frank Murphy. Well, thanks for joining us. I think it's something I screwed up with Mike too, but we reach out to Mike. Mike's pretty good on YouTube as well if you need some help with that. Frank. Yeah, good stuff. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend and hope to see you back here Monday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll be back at 10 a.m. Eastern on Monday morning.
Great. See you guys.